Picture this, a quaint town in the heart of Oregon, where dreams of cultural revival have turned an old forgotten saloon into a dazzling stage for the arts. It's a tale of perseverance that warms the heart and proves that community spirit can work miracles. But wait, this isn't just any renovation story. It's a generational saga that challenges what we think is possible in small-town America. Nestled in northeastern Oregon, the tiny community of Athena has long yearned for a central spot to celebrate creativity and performance. Much like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz finally getting his heart, locals have realized their vision with the grand reopening of the Gem Theatre and Star Saloon. https://www.gemtheatre.org on Main Street. After 20 years of dedicated effort from 2 waves of volunteers, teenagers, and adults alike, the celebrations from October 24th through 26th will showcase this reborn venue. https://www.youtube/O2B9DN. Rob McIntyre, a former high school band instructor who first championed the idea, recalls how the structure had stood empty for nearly 50 years. Athena never had a proper stage with top-notch sound and lighting, he shared. It's almost unbelievable. As the project's sole restoration leader since the start, McIntyre estimates that over 70,000 hours of volunteer labor poured into this heartfelt endeavor. Some folks initially scoffed at the notion, deeming it foolish to transform a shaky 2-story brick edifice into a venue for everyone from kids' plays to touring musicians. A cheeky note tucked into a newly placed time capsule even pokes fun at the skeptics. Yet, to the optimistic teacher known affectionately as Mr. Mac and the young people who rallied around him, this triumph was inevitable. Fueled by sheer community determination, vision, and passion, the project wrapped up as a testament to grit. McIntyre points out the town's historical nod to wisdom and the arts. Originally called Centerville due to its position between Pendleton and Walla Walla, Washington, it rebranded in 1889 to Athena, honoring the Greek goddess of wisdom, strategy, warfare, and creativity. I doubt anyone else in the country, or maybe the world, has built something like this purely through volunteers, he mused. The initiative also drew $2.75 million from grants and contributions. Enhancements include expanding seating to 200, adding an orchestra pit, a sunken area in front of the stage for musicians to play during performances, and seismic retrofitting, reinforcing the building to withstand earthquakes, crucial in earthquake-prone Oregon. Now, the Gem could join a network of touring theaters, attracting professional shows from afar. The region boasts other historic spots in various repair stages, all driven by local enthusiasts. The 1918 OK Theater in Enterprise, https://NPARIS12005. The 1910 Liberty Theater in La Grande, https://www.libertytheaterinpendleton, https://www.rivolitheatre.org, https://www.rivolitheatre in Baker City. TheBakerOrpheumTheater.com. Nicole Possert, head of Restore Oregon, https://restoreoregon.org, describes this as a statewide trend since 2016. RestoreOregon.org/2020/Oregon Theaters, promoting the preservation and reuse of these old theaters for economic and social perks. TheBakerOrpheumTheater.com. https://www.rivolitheatre.org/2020/Oregon Theaters. www.oregonlive.com/entertainment/2024/On with the show, how 3 historic Oregon theaters are trying to serve audiences. Possart emphasizes how such venues can revitalize downtown areas, serving as cherished gathering spots rich with history. Examples include the 1924 Liberty Theatre in North Bend, https://thelibertytheatre.org/ourhistory. The 1925 Liberty Theatre in Astoria, libertyastoria.showware.com, and the 1930 Holly Theatre in Medford. www.oregonlive.com/entertainment. 2025/03 Famous SNL showman takes the stage as Oregon Movie Palace unveils 13M renovation.html. The gem's success fits right in, she says. Tenacity and deep passion are key to these preservation wins, Possart noted, and the gem's story embodies that perfectly, with over 400 contributors, half being students aged 12 to 18, including kids of the original Young Helpers. It demonstrates how community involvement can spark preservation interest in the next generation. Athena also hosts charming events like Hadaka Days, featuring a June parade of vintage motorcycles crafted locally by Pacific Basin Trading Company, and the July Athena Caledonian Games, inspired by Scottish Highland traditions. Volunteers and residents hope the new space will revive Main Street, hit hard by business closures since the 2020 pandemic. Perhaps this can kickstart enthusiasm for fixing up those empty buildings, McIntyre suggested. Adjacent is the historic Stall Building, housing the Athena Main Street Association, a group dedicated to downtown renewal, economic boost, and fostering connections. A week before the reopening, 2 association members assisted McIntyre with wallpapering. From the outset, said Association President Amy Rogers, the GEN project has motivated our rural town to envision a brighter downtown. Time to celebrate. The festivities kick off October 24th with a reception for volunteers and donors featuring jazz music and a 20-minute documentary on the restoration by University of Oregon Cinema Studies student Elsa Rogers. /www.instagram.com pdksvkmp, v UTM source IG web copy link. Using WMVMPY is McIntyre student at Weston McEwen High School and is still younger than the project itself. https://kboo.fm/120188 Return Gem Athena, Oregon's Historic Theater. October 25 brings a bluegrass concert for $15. While October 26 offers a $25 ticket screening of City Girl, Athena's first ever showing of this silent film shot locally and in Pendleton, directed by Academy Award winner F.W. Murnau in 1928. Starring Mary Duncan and Charles Farrell, he called it a symphony in wheat. A scene in an Athena wheat field could be filmed today, as the land still grows wheat under the same family ownership. Locals acted as extras, but Fox Studios demanded cuts, dialogue additions, and a title change from Our Daily Bread to City Girl. The 1930 talkie version flopped. The original silent print, presumed lost in a vault fire, resurfaced in the 1960s and is available on DVD. https://www.amazon.com/citygirl/B001NEJXZQ. For the Gen premiere, https://OregonFilmTrail/posts, followed by the premiere. What's happening at the Gem premiere will be played by the Oregon East Symphony's Chamber Ensemble. Visitors will marvel at pro-level features like a retractable movie screen and LED stage lights, McIntyre said. In small towns, events often happen in gyms, he explained, but a gym floor can't compare to a proper auditorium with a raised stage. A century of transformation. Built in 1901 as a rectangular brick saloon and eatery by Walla Walla brewer Jacob Betts for beer sales, the site closed in 1906 due to a local ban on bars, predating national prohibition by 14 years. By 1909, it hosted early films with live accompaniment. In 1921, a mighty Wurlitzer Opus 503 pipe organ, https://1D6DVQD, was added to the makeshift cinema. In 1928, Murnau famed for 1922's Nosferatum 6 miles south to shoot City Girl, pitching it to Fox as a rural Umatilla County tale about wheat's sanctity, bread's importance, and urban disconnection from nature. A mural on the gem's exterior honors this, earning Athena a spot on the Oregon Film Trail. https://historicoregonfilmtrail.com/historicoregonfilmtrail.html. The silent version screened in 2016 at Pendleton's Vert Theater. https://verttheater.com. The theater shut during the Depression, reopening in 1938 within Old Chicago. https://tcmdb/title 79100 in Old Chicago. Starring Tyrone Power as a saloon keeper. Its final film before closing in 1968 was Planet of the Apes. https://www.imdb.com. Title TT00634442. The city received the neglected building in 2003 from its absent owner. This story of how Athena's 1,200 residents transformed a creaky shell into a cutting-edge theater and saloon-style hub screams for a blockbuster film adaptation. Band director steps in. McIntyre spotted the derelict theater upon arriving in Athena in 2000 as a new music teacher. Intrigued by its shuttered stage, he envisioned student performances there instead of the school gym. In 2004, initial volunteers assembled, launching the complex task in October 2005. The 20-year journey involved a decade of demolition and another of reconstruction with expert aid. Key helpers Bob Fairchild, https://k12.or.us, article/76310. In Park Resources, announces new president. Bill Muhlenberg, Omni FM shows Coffee Hour podcast, October 15th, Gem Theater. Earned the nickname The Usual Suspects. https://video/fab. Borrowing from Casablanca. In 2006, the city transferred ownership to Athena's Gem Inc., a volunteer nonprofit starting with 6 members and $500. https://gemtheater.org, index/php/about us. We were just winging it, McIntyre said, likening their resourcefulness to NASA's Apollo 13 crew. https://youtube.com/watchhour.index, https://imdb.com/title/7, who improvised to survive. A welder added a seismic steel frame. You could once push the wall and feel it sway, McIntyre remembered. Volunteers stripped 3 paint layers and a mason volunteered to repair mortar for structural and aesthetic fixes. Raising the auditorium floor for a concrete base resembled a traditional barn raising, with students and parents collaborating. High school band kids prepared over 925 drywall sheets for installation. Walls, originally a bright emerald inspired by the Wizard of Oz, were toned down to a calming sage. Ready for events, the Gem Theater and Star Saloon, equipped with a commercial kitchen and seating across 2 levels, is available for rentals like meetings, screenings, and live shows. The new roof features solar panels, with interior and exterior designs evoking 1900 styles. The saloon boasts mahogany bars, a 1920s electro-cold soda fountain, https://www.facebook.com/photo.php, at facebook.com/photo.php, and set equals to Baker's in spin generator, and 1946 Cookorders Bounton soda machine. Steps were crafted from salvaged parts. All over there, crafted from salvaged parts. The theater mirrors its 1938 look after remodeling, extended 30 feet for extra seats. Irwin Auditorium chairs. https www.irwin difference about history from Portland's 1927 Baghdad Theater, set in Portland's 1927 Baghdad, were reclaimed. McMenamins replaced them in 2013. https www.mcmenamins.com. Our production staff has requested that auditorium chairs. McIntyre retrieved the 150 seats from Tucson, Arizona, in excellent shape with perfect aisle armrests. Retiring in 2024, McIntyre and his wife Elizabeth hauled them 1,300 miles in a U-Haul to Athena. District students took an elective class for gem work, guided by mentors. One early volunteer later aided Legrande's 1910 Liberty Theater restoration. Others pursued careers in planning, contracting, and trades. "There's a real sense of pride," McIntyre said. "I told the kids this was bigger than us all, and it truly is." But here's where it gets controversial. Is pouring decades of effort into one building worth the resources? Especially when it could divert attention from other community needs like schools or infrastructure? Some might argue that such projects foster division if not everyone gets involved, or that relying heavily on volunteers exploits unpaid labor. And this is the part most people miss. Could this inspire a national trend, or is it just a feel-good anomaly in a world where big cities dominate cultural scenes? What do you think? Should small towns prioritize historic restorations over modern developments, or balance both? Share your views in the comments. Does this story resonate with your community's efforts or challenge your ideas on preservation? If you go, the Gem Theater and Star Saloon, https:// run by Athena's Gem Inc., is at 239 East Main Street. https://maps@goo.gl.as// now in Athena, just north of Oregon Route. https://gemtheater.org. If you purchase a product or register for an account through a link on our site, we may receive compensation. By using this site, you consent to our user agreement, https://www.advancelocal.com/user agreement, and agree that your clicks, interactions, and social media network in accordance with our privacy policy. https://www.advancelocal.com/user agreement, and agree that your clicks, interactions, and personal information may be collected, recorded, and or stored by us and social media partners in accordance with our privacy policy. /www.advancelocal.com/privacypolicy.html